Welcome to Art of Wellness Unscripted, the podcast where we dive deep into holistic health, real conversations, and the journey to living your best, most vibrant life. I'm your host, Amara Tiller, and each week we'll explore the art and science of wellness with inspiring guests, expert insights, and practical tips you can use every day. Today we have a new guest. I've got Gayle with us. I'll have her introduce herself.
My name is Gayle Gurchiek.
Gayle is originally from Williamston.
Yep, grew up in Williamston. I was there from the age of 1 through 1970 to 89. I graduated in 88, and then I moved to Tokyo, Japan in 89. But yeah, I grew up there. It's a beautiful place. It's charming. It's quaint. And it was a beautiful time to live there, actually. People cared about each other, and you could trust your neighbors, and everybody was there for each other.
Love that. We also have Dr. Denise Potter here with us. And she's a naturopathic doctor in Williamston, so I'll have her introduce herself.
Well, hi, as Amara said, I am Dr. Denise Potter. I'm a functional medicine practitioner and traditional naturopathic doctor. I am currently working out of Miraculous Energies in Williamston, and what our goal is to kind of bridge the gap between more Eastern and Western approaches by getting the tests done, looking at what your body is actually telling us through a lab lens, and then utilizing more natural approaches, lifestyle shifts, dietary shifts in order to get the body balanced. We truly believe that the body has an incredible ability to heal itself as long as we provide it with the necessary tools. So that's kind of my job, to do the detective work and figure out what tools fit your specific body.
Fantastic.
Gayle, talk about the documentary that you just released.
So, in my family, we grew up in Williamston, and my brother passed away when he was 17 years old. I was 16 at the time. And around us, there were other people who had cancer. There was a 15-year-old who passed before my brother. And I noticed that there was a lot of cancer. Even as a child, I'm like, this is kind of strange, because you'd go and visit other family members in different towns, and this wasn't happening. So my whole family's been affected by cancer. And when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, I wanted to do this actually before, when I was diagnosed the first time in 2014. But life takes over, and you're like, okay, I just want to live life and, all these things. But when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, I said, I may not have enough time. It's time to do this. So I said, I have to tell my story. I have to tell the story of all my friends who have passed away and lost their lives. Plus, I'm into holistic medicine, and I feel it's important that people understand that, it's not a death sentence anymore, and that you can actually do something for yourself. So I wanted to raise awareness so, people can prevent, if they are in a toxic environment, what they can do for their bodies, what they can do for protecting their family. I think that's really important. So I wanted to start the conversation.
Love that. Will you pick up on what you're talking about before I started filming about what's going on in Williamston?
So the world is full of toxins, pretty much every corner we turn. But in Williamston, Michigan, there is a large, it is actually the location where there's the highest rate of childhood cancers in Michigan. That's pretty significant. Children are supposed to be healthy and vibrant and not have to deal with these drastic health illnesses that are so big, like cancers. So when you're looking around the community, there's a lot of beautiful agriculture land, which is wonderful. And it's, as Gayle said, it's absolutely beautiful out there. But behind the surface, there's a lot of spraying with chemicals and pesticides, fertilizers, all sorts of different things on the fields that then get transferred into the water system. Michigan's basically a giant swamp. So everything we are putting into the land, onto the land, gets right into the water supply and distributed everywhere. Around Williamston area, there are metal foundries. There used to be coal mining in Williamston. A lot of these things have shut down because of regulations and things like that. But what about the damages in the 70s, in the 80s? I've talked to farmers who used to take giant barrels of chemicals into sinkholes and drop them off there.
Yep.
So for a while, they're protected in the barrel, but what happens when that corrodes?
Mm-hmm.
Gets right into the water system that the children swim in. There are ponds everywhere around that area in a lot of beautiful state land that people are able to go and enjoy nature, which is wonderful. But you really don't want your animals and your children and yourself swimming in toxic sludge. Not only that, a lot of waste products, human waste actually, is sprayed on farmers' fields. They have stopped that largely, but my husband has a friend who was sick for more than 2 months after a field right next to his house was sprayed with human byproducts.
I did not know that was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
So with that, we are exposed to heavy metals and chemicals, all of the medications that people have consumed, hormonal disruptors, that gets into the soil. And then we are then consuming that. We are breathing that in every time the soil's tilled up by the traditional farming methods. Everywhere we look, there are toxins that are out into the air. There's chemical factories. It's a really heavily polluted area that is pretty well covered up. You don't know that by driving through this beautiful, quaint area with all of this wonderful greenery and nature.
So having all this farmland, pesticides or toxins, eventually that can make its way into people's wells, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And it really doesn't take all that long. When we get heavy rains and all of that gets pushed deep down into the soil, the water table's really not that deep. So
You have a lot of floods here too.
a lot of floods, especially in more recent years. Weather's been a little bit crazier. So
Yeah, and I mean, we had a basement, and it was flooded all the time. And you'd go down there and you'd walk around in there trying to.
get it cleaned up to save everything.
Yeah.
And then, on top of all of the stuff that was just put into the basement, you have the issues of mold.
Yeah, that's a dangerous weapon too.
Yeah, neurotoxin. You have all of these factors compounding on each other. And it's just really scary.
Yeah, and the fact that we're not looking into it to try to figure out what's going on so we can actually raise awareness for people to say, hey, you can do something about this. And why not? Why say, well, I'm just going to move to the next town, or I'm going to pretend like nothing's happening. I mean, we want our kids safe.
And a lot of people do walk around pretending like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where it's kind of hard to ignore.
I agree.
And it's really scary for most people because you hear cancer or all of these diseases and people freeze.
Yeah.
They shut right down and they think, oh no, there's no other option. Because largely, not many other alternative options are pushed. But there's so many things that you can do to support the body. There's so many things that we could do to help clean up the land and to support the environment. And those changes can be made pretty quickly.
And I'm living proof because I have stage 4 cancer, 2 autoimmune diseases, vascular disease, Lyme disease. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I have seizures. I have a poor functioning liver, lymphatic issues. I mean, it goes on. And I am now treating each thing and dealing with each thing. And they say it's even possible to turn my life around. And that's why that also gives me motivation because I'm thinking of all my friends from back in Williamston. And I'm thinking, I know they're going through what I'm going through. And I am tired of seeing funerals announced. So it's time to show people as an example of like, it doesn't get much worse. I may not look like it, but it doesn't get worse than my situation. So I want people to learn so they don't have to go through what I've gone through.
So what would you recommend for people who live in Williamston or areas with farmland? What can they take to protect themselves?
Well, first thing to protect yourself is most people in this country really need to clean up their diet. I know as naturopaths, we preach that a lot, but it is absolutely critical to get rid of the processed foods. Try to avoid the sugars as much as possible. Sugars feed all sorts of different ailments and diseases and inflammation that sticks within your body. So really focusing on getting those things cleaned out of the system. So what you ingest is whole and pure and clean, feeding your body good nutrients that it actually needs. Also paying attention to your stress levels. They are finding that there is a huge connection between suppressed emotions and the development of autoimmune diseases and cancers and all sorts of different chronic and degenerative type ailments. Now, that's not the only case, of course, but you have to support things in a holistic manner, looking at every part of the body and not just, oh, well, you have liver ailments, so let's just look at the liver. Or what about the hormonal aspect that the liver has to go through? What about the entire digestive system, the guts, the bacteria levels within your body? So taking a look at the whole scope of things, allowing your body to detoxify. Now, a lot of people go into detoxes, rah, let's go, but you need to make sure your body's strong enough to be able to get rid of these toxins. If you go into, let's say, a parasite cleanse unprepared, then you can feel absolutely awful as those little buggers are dying off. I'm assuming you've had personal experience with this.
And they eat heavy metals. So, like, once they die, they excrete these poisons that recirculate through your brain.
Yes, and if you are not binding onto those properly to get them out and having open channels of elimination, then you're just making yourself feel miserable and not actually cleansing the body out. So you really have to look at full scope. I think people need to do testing, first of all, to figure out what area they need to zone in on, because it can be very overwhelming. Like, oh, I need to get my stress level down, but also I have to pay attention to cleansing out my body and supporting it with nutrients. It can be a lot for people. So if you focus in on testing your body to see if you have an overload of heavy metals or candida issues, pesticides, PFAS. PFAS is a huge one. Viruses. Go through and get the testing done as thoroughly as you can until you find some flags that say, okay, this is where we need to target. And then please work with somebody that you trust and that you can really connect with in order to help you through this healing journey. It should not be a one-stop shop where you see somebody for 15 minutes and then off you go to navigate this entire situation by yourself. You should have somebody who's a part of your team to help you work through all of these different things because there's a lot of factors involved.
So for those who don't know what type of testing would entail for this, what would you recommend? Would you do the
Zytoscan can work sometimes, but I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket, personally.
So just use it as an additional tool.
An additional tool,
Okay.
Yes. The more additional tools that we can have to get a clear picture, the better. So Zytoscans are really great. Doing some functional lab testing, so urine samples, hair mineral assessments, where you actually clip a piece of your hair, send it into a lab, and they're able to determine your mineral levels to see if you have heavy metals in one area or what the balance of minerals are. That can be really eye-opening for what you've got going on. There's blood testing, saliva testing. There's a lot of different things you can do, but even just going around and doing water testing. I know a lot of local companies even will take samples of water and do the testing for you. I'm not sure how much that costs. I haven't looked into all of that. Using reverse osmosis filters and then replenishing some minerals, of course.
Yeah.
That's an important thing. Otherwise, it will start stripping your own body of minerals, which you need to have strength to fight all these things. There's a lot of different factors that we can go into. So I would probably start with looking at your own surroundings and saying, okay, well, I am, for example, surrounded by fields. Then I should probably do some glyphosate testing, check to see what kind of pesticides are around. And just kind of go down the list like that and work with somebody who can help to guide you. Everything is so individualized that it's kind of hard to say broad scope what people should do.
But knowledge is power. Like, a lot of people are so afraid of finding out if they have the C word or if they have something. And the thing is like, I think anxiety that you hold with the unknown is more terrifying than actually finding out and giving yourself the strength. Okay, now I can do something about this. People get paralyzed, and instead of figuring it out, the knowledge is powerful. And the more you learn, the more you want to know. So you keep digging. And you're like, wow, okay. And it works.
And every step along the way, if you take action, can get you closer to that healing.
Absolutely.
Make changes in yourselves.
Yeah, your sleep can get better. I mean, your moods get better. You get more balanced. Your hormones start balancing out. The more you keep going, it just is like one thing at a time. You'll start noticing all these changes.
Absolutely.
It really is amazing. It is.
So what would you recommend to somebody? This is what I always worry about is a lot of people can't afford to get holistic help. So what would you say to those that aren't able to afford it but still want to protect themselves?
Okay, so if somebody was not able to go and get all of the testing that they would like to get, first off, like I said earlier, start off with diet. Make sure that's cleaned up. Make sure you have an air filter, a good quality purifier for the air. We are exposed to so many things, even in the dead of night. A lot of chemical companies, they start doing their work in the off gases, styrene, and a lot of other chemicals that we're not aware of during the day. So trying to fix your air quality, trying to support your body, start cooking with things that are not with Teflon. Exposure to PFAS is very heavy through Teflon and nonstick coating pans. So if you can switch over to stainless steel, glass, cast iron, that can really go a long way for balancing your hormonal health and a lot of inflammation, and just get rid of some of those forever chemicals. It takes so long to break down within the body. Air quality, water quality, try to get a reverse osmosis filter if possible, or even just a typical water filter. Anything that you can do to purify that out. A lot of the water that we are drinking is not just contaminated with pesticides, but bacteria and viruses. Arsenic.
There's a lot of arsenic in the water.
Yes.
In Williamston.
Is it dioxin?
Dioxins, yes.
Yeah.
And they have linked that very heavily to issues like endometriosis, which is really much more of a common issue than it should be. We should not be having so many reproductive health issues. So anybody can start right away, even if you are thinking, I am not really surrounded by these chemicals and these toxins. Start by cleaning up your diet, getting good quality water, getting good quality air, and managing your stress. By just doing those things, you are setting your body up into the state to receive healing. You're setting your body up to be able to strengthen itself. Just by incorporating whole foods instead of processed things that actually destroy your gut bacteria, you are giving your body good things to replenish it. One of my favorite dietary things, especially for people who are dealing with heavy issues like this, sprouts. We do broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, radish sprouts almost every single day. They have high concentrations of sulforaphane, which is a strong antioxidant and anti-cancer agent, and has a lot of really intense health benefits by just doing a little bit. And it's so cheap. Anybody can afford to do sprouts.
Nice. Yeah, you can grow your own.
Yeah, we do those every day, and that's basically how we get our brains in.
Nice.
And we have noticed such an increase in lasting energy throughout the day, mental clarity. So there are a lot of things that people can do that are really affordable.
Great. I was trying to do some research on what specifically will help remove phosphate from the body. And I stumbled upon, it was a video from a Weston A. Price conference that they did. And it was like someone head of MIT that was presenting on this. So she had been doing research on phosphate for years. And she found charcoal helped, bentonite clay, burdock root. Can't remember what it is. But
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those clays bind onto the toxins and allow your body to get them out of the system. And the burdock root is really good for helping to support the liver and the entire circulatory system by helping to, in a sense, cleanse out the blood from all of these chemicals that stick right in there. So, yeah, there are some really great things out there.
Wheatgrass.
Oh,
parsley.
There's
Cilantro.
There's so many things.
There's so many things that are so beneficial for that.
Yeah.
And just simple spices, simple whole things that you can use in your
Cayenne
kitchen.
pepper.
So good. That gets me fired right up.
Yeah. I think we should also talk about. So a few years ago, I did a research paper on venom in pharmaceuticals and the interplay with nicotine and how it's medicinal.
Yeah.
And Dr. Brian Artis is the one who kind of was leading this, but I learned from that research that there's companies that will make synthetic venom in powdered form. And then these farmers purchase this and they spray the whole entire crop with this synthetic venom.
Mm.
And that's what they use as a pesticide. Well, then Dr. Brian Artis took the normal Roundup that you can buy at Home Depot and he sent it to different labs and they all came back with the same results.
Whoa.
Made from venom. The antidote to venom is nicotine.
Interesting.
Yes.
That would be a number one. Is it like as simple as a nicotine
I
patch?
literally just put a patch on when she got
Wow.
We're talking about this.
I just have been clued into the nicotine recently, and I'm like, okay, there's another tool. You would not believe how many tools you could get in your toolbox.
Where and just plants that are growing in your yard when you don't mow them down. So many incredible medicinals out there. And the nicotine, you can use actual tobacco for so many things. You can use it as a pesticide for farming applications that doesn't actually damage the body. Tobacco was demonized so heavily when we were growing up. It was the worst thing, and if you don't get your parents to stop smoking, then they're gonna die, and it's just terrible. So we had all of this fear, and we need to stay away from it. And yes, the typical cigarettes are not good. They're mixed with benzene and all of these other really terrible components. But if you can use the actual plant the way nature intended medicine to be used as actual medicine, there's so many antiviral properties. They did some studies and found that during the COVID era, people who were smokers were not getting COVID.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of new studies coming out about the strength and power of nicotine when used properly.
Wow. That with ivermectin, we might have a little.
So I actually learned ivermectin binds to the ACE2 nicotinic receptor, and that's what nicotine binds to. So that's why ivermectin is doing the same thing.
That's beautiful.
But nicotine is actually more magnetized to that receptor than ivermectin is.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Love this.
Yeah. So it's actually a little bit better, but
That's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's on this super ivermectin craze right now, which it's great stuff. Not gonna.
Well, particularly if you have
But-
cancer.
There are a lot of other options.
That's
out there.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was doing, well, when I was writing that research paper, I was spending a lot of time on PubMed, doing deep dives into what I can find that they've been doing research on nicotine, right? And it's so interesting to me how, yeah, like they lie to us, and then at the same time that this all comes out, our government announces that they're going to ban all nicotine products by 2030.
Stop.
Literally all of them.
That tells you something.
That tells you something. Have they ever said they're going to do that before? No.
No, other than when, ivermectin came on the scene, they were calling it a horse dewormer and making fun of it. And then all of a sudden they're using it for cancer. And, I've seen so many people go into remission on doing that.
Yeah, Harvard did a study in 2015. They took all different types of lab animals and they got them addicted to all different types of known addictive substances. But nicotine was the only one they couldn't get any animal addicted to. And so, how is this even possible? So they did a FOIA request to the tobacco companies and learned that in the 70s, they hired scientists to figure out how to make the products more addictive, and they came up with the chemicals called pyrazine. So pyrazine is what is causing cancer, not the nicotine.
Right.
And so the nicotine patches, like Rugby brand, you can buy it off Amazon. Based on the research I did on all the patches, that's a very clean one. And then if you are going to be smoking cigarettes, which I don't recommend, but American Spirits do not contain
I've heard that.
any of those chemicals.
I've heard that.
So they are technically organic. But yeah, and then, with everything coming out with COVID, the COVID virus binds to our nicotine receptors. And so they did a study where they had over 2,000 people that had long COVID for 2 years. So strict requirements to get into the study. And they put a 7 milligram nicotine patch on all of them. After 21 days, every single person was completely symptom free.
Unbelievable.
And then I'm not sure if you've heard about the COVID vaccine, Pfizer specifically containing SV40, which is a virus that causes cancer. On PubMed, their studies how nicotine causes cell apoptosis. If cells have SV40, so
yes,
anything with virus, I just keep going back to nicotine being a huge
Well, as long as we have to then now create an environment where everybody's fighting for nicotine patches.
Yeah.
Do not take away nicotine patches.
Well, actually, there's some medical rebel doctors already getting ahead of
awesome.
that. They figured out lobelia is Native American tobacco, and it also contains nicotine, so they are coming out with patches that are lobelia.
They're finding new ones.
Yeah.
Finding new sources for that.
And random fact, sorry, so all nightshade vegetables contain nicotine. Yeah. So
Are you serious? Because I've been told not to do them because they're inflammatory. Eggplants.
Yeah. They probably tell you
red peppers, no tomatoes. With this, you can, but take off the skin and take off this. But then now it's okay.
Eggplant is the second highest after tobacco with the amount of nicotine it contains. Yeah, you've got tomato, celery, white potato. Every time you guys are eating French fries, you guys are getting nicotine. Yeah,
it's pretty great. So how are they going to go about and ban all of those things? I don't really think they're going to be able to, but yeah. So know that there are other sources out there, and that this is a very powerful substance that we can utilize for good.
Yes.
It's so exciting because that's one thing I haven't done yet is nicotine patches.
And I've
done a lot.
I wanted to talk to you about this, but I'm like, I don't know how well she's going to receive this because it's like the craziest thing ever. But my personal journey the past couple of years using nicotine, there's been times where there's nothing that's helped me, and I put a nicotine patch on just out of desperation. And my pain level from a 9 to a 0 within 15 minutes.
So excited. I'm so excited. Where can I get these things? I'm going to run out of here. And get
Amazon.
Some. Okay.
I'll send you a link of the
the right one. Yeah. Because you can get some so people trying to make money and profit by giving some false thing or even a synthetic thing or whatever, a tainted thing. That's what I worry about.
Yeah.
Always.
You can also do the gum, but with consuming nicotine orally, some people are very sensitive in their digestive tract, so it'll make them a little nauseous. So to avoid that, the patch is so much easier. And
I'm very excited.
And on the antiviral aspect of tobacco and nicotine, every once in a while when I'm under an extreme amount of stress, I start to develop cold sores. And a couple of weeks ago, I started to feel one of these coming on. And for any of those who suffer with cold sores, once that starts, it is a tough battle to get rid of that thing. So I did a little bit of nicotine, and within just a couple of hours, it was gone. I didn't have any more issues coming up with that.
We should be getting paid right now for this advertising.
Our gift to the world.
Yes.
You can also use it for arthritis. There's also research they're doing.
That's incredible.
Dr. Brian Artis was talking about with autistic children. They're putting it in the middle of their back so they can't take it off. And within a week, their mood issues just going away, where they're not as angry, they're not as
That's amazing.
And it does the same thing for me, I noticed. It really does.
Well, maybe people can stop growing cannabis and they'll be growing, tobacco.
Well, actually, I met someone I was talking about this, and he
jumped on it.
He owns a cannabis company, and he was saying they were trying to figure out how to genetically breed tobacco and cannabis together, so that way the tobacco will act as a natural pesticide.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
But they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. Somebody out there please work on it.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I heard about nicotine being used as a natural pesticide.
It's really, really effective. We've been spraying it on some of our plants because we have a large garden that we support my family on. And had really good success with it.
So what about people from Williamston though? When you have you think your yard is a safe place, but then you're getting cross contamination from fields and stuff. Like how would you be able to grow safely?
That is a challenge. We try to choose organic as much as possible. Put up some barrier plants, so some taller bushes around your outside that can help to maybe protect some of the dust that's flying through to keep your garden protected. And just giving your soil the most nutrients, as many nutrients as you possibly can. So we have noticed a really incredible difference between our garden plots. So this past year, I have a little farm. So we had our pigs in one little area, and they did a great job rooting through the soil and getting things churned up. That's not actually a tilling method because that stirs up more chemicals and heavy metals and things in the soil. So they naturally dug down and used their waste products, and we put in some bedding and had them just squish that in. And then we moved the pigs and planted a garden there. Right next to it, where the pigs weren't touching at all, we planted the same plants side by side. And my father-in-law did not believe that this was going to work. He thought we were making a foolish mistake. So this year, when everything came to fruition, you would not even be able to tell they're the same plants pretty much. Wow. We never touched them with any fertilizer, any water, anything this whole year. And the plants that were growing in the pig zone are huge and so dark green. You can tell they are incredibly nutrient dense. Wow. When they have more nutrients, they have the ability to protect themselves from the chemicals and all of the influences that are from around it. So I think the best thing is really mineralize the soil. Do what you can to help bring in nutrients like green sand or azomite, some of those unique trace minerals if you can. Or just get your animals to graze in the area and rotationally graze them. By moving the animals around, you are able to get all of the nutrients into the soil and they will work it in properly for you. Wow. And it really has a tremendous impact on growing the plants the next year. And if you put things like marigolds around, it actually kills, the roots kill nematodes in the soil.
Really?
Yeah, it's really incredible. Every part of the marigold, we specifically get Mexican marigold, is anti-pest. So if you plant that around...
Yeah, bunnies and deer won't go in there.
Yeah, it keeps them away from your area. So it's protecting it from all of those influences.
Wow, marigolds are going to go... We're selling marigolds.
Yes. Planting.
Yeah.
Tobacco and marigolds.
Yeah.
What's something that someone could plant to help cleanse the soil? Doesn't sunflowers help pull out radioactive?
Yes, they actually use a lot of sunflowers in Australia, and Russia to clean up the areas of Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Wow.
They use that because the sunflowers have the ability to pull up radiation out of the soil and get that cleansed out. And mushrooms are amazing. Yeah. The type of farming that I'm more into, sustainable and regenerative, we are utilizing areas of woodland and pasture field land. And in the woods, we have inoculated it with a lot of mushrooms. Mm-hmm. So then we can use them for medicinal purposes or for culinary purposes. Yeah. And it also helps to strengthen and diversify the soil around the area.
I have someone learning how cannabis was being used for Chernobyl, and it does the same thing of pulling. Yeah, and I was like, that's weird.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can plant that are really common. Look around and it's right there that pull things out of the soil and help to clean it up for you. Mushrooms are a really big one. They've actually done some studies. Paul Stamets, I don't know if I'm saying his last name correctly.
The mushroom guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did a study quite a few years ago using piles of waste product and like garbage dump stuff into these big piles of like burns, basically. And he had 3 different piles. In the last pile, he had mushrooms that he inoculated. In that last pile, after I think it was 16 weeks, was the only one that had green grass growing and new plant life when it was alive. So it actually worked to pull up the plastics out of the soil and the contaminants and turn it into a lush living environment.
My point exactly. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
And you can do something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg.
Yes.
By just having more mushrooms into your diet and around your area. There's a lot of woodland around Williamston. So we can do things to help pull all of those things out of the soil.
It's amazing. I didn't even think about that aspect. That's incredible.
So people need to go organic because all the other food has the same pesticide sprayed on it that we're talking about that these fields have. So might as well control what you can control.
Yoga, meditation, prayer, whatever.
Yes,
Control your
help your
nervous system.
stress. Make sure you have good quality water. Filter your water. I'm not sure if Berkey is still in business, but that's one that I have.
I think they are.
I know that they got
So there was
something
issues
going
at
on.
the time, but
Yes, but I still recommend Berkey. RO water, but make sure any water that you filter, you are remineralizing it. Because otherwise, you can't even hydrate your cells without the minerals.
Yes.
Water.
You need to have that in order to open up those cellular channels and get those nutrients into you. Otherwise, you're just depleting yourself and actually weakening your bones in the process.
Wow.
And for those that are in Williamston and are concerned and want to be proactive, reach out to Dr. Denise Potter. What's the name of the center again?
Miraculous Energies.
Miraculous Energies.
And we can do a deep dive and see what's going on with your particular area. Every person that I start working with, I see them for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours because I want to know your history. I want to know what environment you've been in. I want to know about your lifestyle factors and what your habits are so we can figure out how to customize the plan and get you into a state of healing.
And also, I think something we should touch on for the listeners, for people who are going through cancer, learn about your household products. So, like your cleaners, your shampoo,
Cosmetic.
your cosmetics, your deodorant,
Toilet paper.
perfume. Yes. Like, unfortunately, it all had feminine products. It all has
Bedding.
Yes.
And there's so many things.
It's overwhelming the more
It
you
is
think.
It's so overwhelming, but you start bit by bit. And slowly
Step by
but
step.
surely you adapt.
Yes,
to pain.
every little baby step you make is a huge step forward towards healing journey. So even if you don't feel like you're doing much, you can change one thing a week at a time.
Yeah.
Just start slow and you'll get there. And a lot of these alternatives really don't have to be that much more expensive. We get our toilet paper through a company called Who Gives a Crap.
That's funny.
It's really great, but they are bamboo fiber. They don't do
Okay.
any spraying. They have PFAS-free toilet paper, and it's the cleanest that I could find out there, and it's really, really affordable.
Interesting.
Speaking of PFAS, so random fact, I work at Williamston Roadhouse on the side
Okay.
in Williamston, and before I reached out to you, I think it was like 4 days before that, some random guy in there was telling me, he's like, asked me about myself, and I'm like, yeah, I used to work at Boardwalk and Mike, trying to get fluoride out of the water and turn to holistic health, and he's like, you remind me of this girl I know, her name's Gayle. And yeah, swear. His Gary. I don't know if you know who Gary is. But yes, sweetheart. And
Gary?
Yep. And so he's telling me this, right? And he's like, yeah, she, went to a doctor's appointments, but she has brain fog and whatnot. So she always records, and she recorded the doctor saying all these bad things about people in your profession.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, I get a text from someone who sent me your podcast. She goes, have you seen this? And I'm watching it, and I don't realize it's Williamston, Michigan until the end. I'm like, stop. I literally work there now. And so it's just like a universe thing. I'm like, okay, I got to reach out to her and see how.
The law of attraction.
Yeah.
Energy.
Literally. Yeah. So thanks, Gary.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. So we got to help.
Yeah, everything that we can do. And, there are a lot of people who are doing classes out there to help educate people on more of these deep dive conversations because there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
So get out into your community and start talking about this.
Yeah, that's the thing that I feel most moved by is hundreds and hundreds of people have reached out to tell me their story. And not a lot of people are willing to put themselves out there and have the conversation. Whether it's fear, whether it's a different agenda that they have, I don't know what's happening, but we have to have the conversation. We have to do something about it. If we don't, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. So why not work on it now?
Yeah.
That's just my feeling.
Yeah, that absolutely. And if people don't know, then nothing can change. But if they know, somebody is going to take that and run with it. Somebody's going to be the person to make the change and help influence others.
Yeah.
So every bit that it can get out has the potential.
Exactly.
Now, back to water filtration. The other day, I was at Williamston Roadhouse talking about how important it is to filter your water. And they're like, oh, I have a Brita. So can you help people understand why Britas don't really do anything?
Yeah, so you really need to have a filter that is small enough to be able to get these microparticles out of there, because a Brita filter, it cleans some stuff up, but it doesn't get deep into the level that we are really looking for. A lot of these components that are damaging to our health are so small in size that they get right through those filters. So you really need to get something that's more professional, more intense. I like things with a carbon filter when you can find that.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're vacuuming your house, a carbon filter is really great because the dust that you might be stirring up can get into your system. But yeah, with the water filter, it just needs to have a smaller, mesh filtration system to catch all of the different layers of these things.
And you have a website going right now, right? Where
Yes.
people can.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
So I have a website, which I've posted out there, postergirlfilm.com. And people can go there and fill out a survey. And the reason why for the survey is because I met RFK Jr. To talk about Williamston. And he said, you have to have a survey. You have to compare the national averages. So people have to speak out in order to fill out the survey, because you can say it's everywhere. But if you don't fill out the survey and know where the pockets are and do a proper investigation of water and soil and check all these things out, and we can look at the clusters and where people are, which is not really clusters because I'm finding it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're in town, near water, away from water, it seems to be affecting everybody. So there could be lots of culprits, but we want to do a proper investigation so that, and if I get enough people to do that, he's willing to help.
You just need a heat map to see the hot zones and what's
Exactly.
going on, so we can say, look, this is where this old plant used to be. We need to focus in on cleaning this up from the soil, or this is a high concentration of brain cancer, so let's find that link.
Yeah.
Well, since I work at the local watering hole, I'm thinking of maybe if I create a QR code that links to your website, you print it off and put it on the wall. I'm sure they'll totally be fine with that. Because everyone comes to Williamston Roadhouse, and as I'm working, I hear people talking about your podcast, not knowing that I'm going to have you come on here.
Wow.
They're like, have you guys, the whole Williamston community Facebook page is talking about the poster?
And people just keep trying to rip it off.
Yeah.
They blocked me, so I can't get on there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they blocked me immediately.
Wow.
Wait, so like the admin of the Williamston Facebook?
I have no idea who it is, but I can't get on there and post it. But people keep putting it on there. It'll get taken down. Another one puts it back on. There's a lot of resistance out there, ladies. A lot of resistance. And that's what I'm so passionate about, because I understand people are worried about the value of properties and things like that. Or maybe it's, you don't want the town looking bad, whatever it is. But when you see a 4-year-old child with brain cancer, a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old with colorectal cancer, we have to set aside this and protect the kids.
Yeah.
We have to protect the kids. So let's step up and protect the kids. Let's have knowledge so you can send them out there and play in the yard and be safe. There's no reason there should be 6 elementary school teachers with breast cancer.
Oh my goodness.
And there have been people who tried to speak out before and they were silenced. So I don't know what the resistance is, but if you think that this is just just like every other town, then do the survey and let's prove that. Let's prove it. And we can raise awareness and fix Williamston first and show everybody else how it's done. But regardless of the scenario, whether it's just like everyone else or we actually have a worse problem, let's educate everybody because it's not getting better out there.
Whether or not it's worse in Williamston or the town next over, anything like that, there's still a problem. Something needs to be done. So somebody needs to rock the boat a little bit. Guess that's you.
Rock the boat.
I'm here to rock the boat.
I'm not sure where we're at on time. I just want to make sure we don't go over anyone's time. So I don't have a clock in front of me. If anyone has a phone, let's just do a time check. Oh, we're good. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay. So I'm trying to think, what else could we do with the time that we have to help people either in Williamston or anyone in the area?
So
I always go back because most people can't afford holistic health.
yeah, and
So
I definitely get that. It's kind of a struggle in the world right now. There are a lot of free classes out there. There's a lot of other community members who are trying to clean up the soil. We could start a community garden and help to have sustainable practices in education. How to get that up and going and then show the other area or the other people in the area that yes, you can do a sustainable type of garden and have amazing food because it's always so much better
it is.
from an organic garden. Just getting out there, getting the education and building the community. There's not much of a community stronghold right now. I think in any area. I think a lot of that has to do with social media separating us from each other. But
when a lot of this turning political when it's not.
Yeah, health is not a political.
Yeah,
It's not a right or left. It's a let's look at what's in front of us. Look at the kids. That really should be our top priority. So yeah, getting out to the community, having a community garden if you don't have the space yourself. Take part of that. Get your hands in the soil. By just getting your hands in good quality soil that's not sprayed with things that's more nutrient dense and mineralized, it actually gives you proper probiotics and helps to fight off depression and anxiety issues, which I think most of us could probably benefit from, and connects with your food source. If you know where your food comes from, then it's very, very empowering. Start making things from scratch as much as possible. Support your local farmer to get local eggs instead of eggs from a big box store. There are a lot of options that you can do as far as going out and harvesting your own herbs, starting to make your own medicine.
Yes,
absolutely. Go out there and collect the good quality, nutrient dense things that can help to protect you against all of these other ailments. There are a lot of little farm stands and things popped up around, and they have a lot of tinctures there that are really good for boosting up the immune system and helping to support health, and just connecting with your local people. That's going to be a really big start.
And eating clean. I mean, they told me as a stage 4 cancer patient, if you want to survive, you have to eat clean for the rest of your life. And because it creates ketosis, apoptosis, and autophagy. And so that's basically starving the cancer, killing the cancer, and removing the dead cells naturally by eating clean.
Yeah. Absolutely. And along with starving the cancer cells. So cancer cells primarily run off of sugar sources. So that's why I kind of went off about the sugar thing earlier.
Yeah.
Really making sure to get that cleared out, but that's not where it stops. So you don't have to just cut off that sugar pathway. You also, in some cases, this is why working with somebody is really important, you have to go down the glycine pathway and find things that block that, because they have found that glycine actually can help tumors to grow a bit. So if you do things like green tea, berberine, mistletoe can help to cut off that pathway. So the cancer cells don't have that secondary path to go through. So once sugar's cut off, then a lot of times they go down the glycine pathway. If you can cut that off too, then it actually starves it.
And I do a lot of those things and I've been successful.
Yes. Good.
So it's, again, living proof that it works. Because I shouldn't be alive. And I say this, I said it in my film, I shouldn't be alive because I've had so many problems. And when they found the cancer this time, they did a MRI, which is supposed to be the standard for finding cancer. It said no abnormalities. So they thought I had an infection and they popped it. And it was bleeding in and out of my body, black blood, for 3 months before I even did anything. I should be dead. It should have been everywhere. Because breast cancer goes to your liver and your brain quickly.
Yeah.
So at stage 4, bleeding for 3 months, and it didn't. So you can do things about it.
Eating clean can help to support your body so you can fight off
100%.
things like
And
that.
I always ate clean.
I can't imagine where you would be now if you hadn't.
I know, because I say, my gosh, it's so frustrating because I have so many things. And they said, yeah, but if you weren't, walking every day to get your circulation going, if you weren't, eating properly, you would be far worse. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. And getting your body moving is super important.
Yeah.
You need that in order for your lymphatic system to be able to purge out these toxins.
Yeah, I walk 5 miles every morning.
Great.
I start my day with that.
And that's a beautiful way to start the day, getting the morning sunlight and helping to boost up your vitamin D production through that. Wonderful.
And plus, it signals your hormones.
Yes.
When to be working is getting that morning sunlight.
Yeah, just by starting your day off by 20 minutes in the sunshine, your entire day, your entire being is so much stronger and more resilient to fight off against anything that life can throw at it, stressors and physical ailments. I feel a million times better when I get out there in the morning for reasons.
And if you get 20 minutes of sun, you could also pop in some methylene blue.
Okay.
And even better, things can happen. So
yeah, there's a lot.
There's so much you can do. There's so much you can do. That's what I keep telling, because I've been meeting people in the community in Williamston, and people are telling me that their kids are terrified. They are terrified. They are noticing people having cancer.
They're seeing it.
So they're seeing it and they're having anxiety. Am I going to get cancer? What's going to happen to me? And and these parents are terrified as well. And I said, there is so much you can do. You have no idea. But if nobody's willing to talk about it, this is what gets me so fired up. If nobody is willing to talk about it, you are creating anxiety for everyone.
Yes.
But if you can find out what you can do for yourself, so much can happen. You can take away the anxiety for people by educating of what you can do.
Absolutely. And start now.
Yeah.
Baby steps. Every day, just do one thing to help support your health. And slowly start to make these changes. And before you know it, 2 years will go by and you'll look back and say, wow, that was my life.
Right.
Holy cow, I can't believe I've gone so far. You can do these things. Get up there in the morning. Start getting your morning sunshine. Get your body moving. Drink your good quality water. Start your day with a nice cup of green tea. Simple things that really make life a lot more enjoyable and help to enliven your cells.
And if you don't like green tea, they have green tea supplements that are also effective.
Yes. Yeah.
So you don't have to like green tea. You can get the green tea in you, and that's beneficial. So there's always a way to work around what you may or may not like.
On the green tea now, I'm going off the track here, but it's so important. There's a study did where they use green tea topically on the skin when exposed to red light, and after 3 months, it dramatically reduced all the wrinkles.
Really?
It's like the natural Botox is. So
red light too is a natural Botox.
But when you compare it or combine the two, the studies, it's like crazy. You can see the before and after. So spritz yourself with some green tea when you go outside in the sun.
And people are floored that I'm 55 and have stage 4 cancer and a whole bunch of health problems, but that's exactly what I do. Because I did a test that took a sample of my cancer, and they sent it overseas, and they found out like all the natural things that actually kill my type of cancer. Because what works for one doesn't always work for the other.
Exactly.
So I found I had so many things. I was like, wow, it opened up so many more things. And then the things that weren't killing my cancer, but also benefited other things. So you know exactly what these things are doing for your body. So I think it's important that you kind of, it's trial and error, trust your gut. You can try different things and see what works for you. But yeah, green tea was one of them. Citrus pectin was another one for me.
Okay.
Vitamin C,
Yep.
Okay.
curcumin.
Yep.
Those were my top cancer killers.
It's amazing that you could get the customized results like that. That's incredible.
Everybody can do it.
But of course, not in the United States, right?
Not in the United States, because they're going to take away our nicotine patches and they're going to take away all our good stuff.
And they make it illegal to treat cancer any other way.
Exactly.
Yeah. I actually was just reading about a 17-year-old who had cancer, was going through chemo, and begged his mom that he can't do it anymore. So she stopped. And the health department said, oh, we need your son to come to a meeting. So they blindsided her. She showed up. They literally took her kid away from her.
Wow.
Because-
I've heard of that too,
Yeah.
like with vaccines as
Yes.
well. Yeah.
And it's
awful.
because he begged, he's like, Mom, I can't handle the chemo anymore. And yeah.
It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't people have the ability to choose those things for
Right.
themselves?
I've heard stories of people having to move to, like, you know, before cannabis was legalized, move to Colorado because their children had seizures, and that was the only thing that stopped, or had cancer, so the only thing that helped.
Yeah.
For the cannabis there.
It's so true, because I suffered from seizures too. But one of the things that stopped my seizures, so I stopped having seizures 6 months ago. I did plasmapheresis. I don't know if you know what that is. It's very expensive, but there's other things that can also clean out your blood. But yeah, they take out your blood and separate the plasma from the blood, and then throw out the plasma, and then give you something else to replace. It's not like putting plasma back in, but they put something in you that helps you put back your plasma, and clears out everything from heavy metals to parasites to bacteria to viruses to everything.
Wow.
So when you're fighting cancer, your immune system tanks, and you end up getting viruses, and you end up getting bacterial infections, and that sometimes kills you before the cancer does.
Mm-hmm.
Is all these other things, parasites. I've been battling parasitic infections since 2018, and that's linked to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to kill the parasites, and there's nothing that you can do to avoid parasites, because if you have an animal, if your feet are in the soil, they're eating vegetables, meat, it's everywhere.
Water that you're drinking.
Water that you're drinking. So you also want to make sure that you're not having parasites. But I did that, and after that I stopped having seizures. So these toxins.
We talked about this on our last
Yeah.
podcast episode.
Yeah, with my dog, she had seizures, and we did a parasite cleanse, supported a little
Yes.
CBD, and no more issues.
So how did you do your dogs?
So we got our puppies in early 2020,
Mhm.
right when everything shut down.
Yeah.
And after having our female for about a month, we noticed that she was going into seizures, and she was going into like 3 seizures a day. So we did our research, and they said the only option is medicating them. It's got a pretty low success rate and a high likelihood of developing depression. It's a puppy. You don't want your dog to be depressed. And so I took what I knew about human medicine and applied it to canine, because I know that a lot of times seizures are linked with parasites.
Interesting.
And her mom, the dog's mom, had a cat food eating problem. So we think that it was toxoplasmosis, because that gets through the placental barrier. She only had 3 puppies in that litter.
Wow.
No other health issues with the litter were reported when we reached out. So we did switched over to a raw food diet and did a pretty heavy parasite cleanse and some CBD drops. And after a couple of weeks, she had a final, what I call the die-off of parasites. It was a lengthy seizure. And then no more issues since then. We parasite cleanse a couple times a year, the whole family, because if you are parasite cleansing your animals,
You
you have to parasite
You
cleanse
have
yourself.
to, because they pass them to you.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
sleep with your animals, if your dogs lick you or your cats lick you,
Right.
you got parasites.
Right. Or even if you don't allow them to lick you.
Yeah, just
They're
in the air,
exposed.
because the eggs become in the air.
Uh-huh.
And like, for example, it can be in the fabric of your couch. You breathe it in.
Touch it. You don't realize that you touched something and then rub your eye, rub your nose, something like that.
Totally.
Yeah, so thankfully we have been sticking with the diet, and we parasite cleanse fairly regularly as a family, but no issues.
And did you get this from your vet, or how did you get this, or you did it yourself?
You made it yourself.
Okay.
Yep. I made it myself because we turned our entire garden, well, our entire yard into a garden space where we do heavy medicinals, antiparasitics, along with our food that we eat.
Awesome.
So what did you use in that future, like wormwood?
We used black walnut.
Mhm.
We did use some cloves that we had to get organic from a different source because we can't grow them here. And wormwood as the base. So when you have those three in combination with each other, it kills over 100 different types of parasites, including the eggs and the larvae.
Yeah, because I was doing ivermectin and fenbendazole for it, but it wasn't taking certain worms away.
Yeah.
Like I do coffee enemas, which is too much information, but it's actually
People don't know.
it's actually really, really, really good for you. Coffee enemas. So you got to get over, and all this stuff is overwhelming. But I tell you, bit by bit, you'll appreciate these things because you get healthier and healthier. But then I switched over to what you're saying, that concoction, and it was dramatic change.
Yeah.
And that's not expensive.
It's so affordable.
And easy to get.
Yeah.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. In ours, we added some other
And you gave that to the dogs and they were okay with it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
small amounts,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course. But yeah, we monitored, we made sure, and she was good to go.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah, they still stay on that blender. I blend very similar. I switch it up every once in a while. I haven't had any major issues.
Because dogs and cats, your animals also can get cancer, and that's another thing.
Yes.
Along with the hundreds and hundreds of people that have been reaching out from Williamston, and then hundreds and hundreds from the whole state of Michigan, and then hundreds and hundreds from around the United States are reaching out to me. A lot of them are also talking about their animals getting cancer too.
And
A lot.
if you read the book called The Forever Dog,
Mhm.
which is Dr. Karen Becker, and I can't remember who she co-authored that with, but it goes through dietary issues in dog health, and they're basically saying in that book that dogs are like the canary in the coal mine. If you have dogs in your household that keep getting cancer, then you better watch yourself because there's something in that environment that isn't right for you, and they are a warning sign telling you, hey, something needs to change.
Absolutely. But they're out there. You know, I have a Shih Tzu, and I've got a couple dogs, but my Shih Tzu is a puppy. He's 2, and he will go out there and try to eat everything.
Yeah.
You know, and they're walking out in the pesticides, and they're
Yes.
eating geese poop, which is horrible. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about, back to people using Roundup. What could be an alternative that people could use to help kill weeds in their yard without having to use the toxic Roundup?
So I am a big fan of companion planting. We talked a little bit about marigold earlier, and that is a really great companion plant. Just by having that near your other plants, it gets rid of the pests in the entire zone, which is really great, and helps to clean up the soil. I do sometimes spray the plants with, I've used neem oil a little bit in the past. Neem oil, diatomaceous earth. That's a really great one.
Is that good for people to consume as well?
Yes.
And
You have
dogs?
to be careful. You don't want to breathe it in.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yes.
But is it good for pets too?
Oh, yeah.
And that kills parasites too, no?
Yes. It cuts them up, actually.
Yeah.
It's really small, sharp particles that
Wow.
cut them up in there. So it's
Okay.
also a good source of silica. So it gives you a little bit more vibrancy in your skin, hair, and nails, which is kind of nice. But yeah, you
But
can
the
use that
capsules.
even topically on dogs, as long as you don't spread it and go crazy with it so they're breathing it in. But really great for getting rid of fleas.
I've used it for fleas like 10 years ago,
Works so well.
before I knew that there's a connection between tapeworm and fleas. Did know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, so then it makes sense. Every time I see a cat that has tapeworm problem, they all have fleas.
Okay.
Wow.
So I got a few years ago, we had puppies, and they got fleas, and I got tapeworm from them, but the dog had seizures as well.
Wow.
That's how we were on this kind of conversation. And if it wasn't for me being at the naturopathic school, I would have never known that I had tapeworm. And they told me to take Vedanga, which is an herb. And I also, that same exact herb was safe to give to all the dogs as well to treat them. So we're talking a $60 bottle, like treated the whole
House.
Yeah.
That's easy.
And the tapeworm came out within a week and a half. I saw it in my stool.
Wow.
That's such a fast.
Well, I had two. The first one came out quick. And the second one took like a week and a half, a lot longer after that. But yeah.
It's important to stay on parasite cleanses for at least 3 weeks, give it a little bit of a break, and hit it again. So a parasite life cycle is 21 days long. So if you're not continuing on with that 3 weeks and then hitting it again, you're just basically reinfecting yourself. It's just going to hatch. Come to
So
life.
what would you recommend as far as a treatment plan, whether you're doing one source of herbs or the other?
So, again, it's always individualized whenever I do any type of work, but in general, I like to do the combination of clove, wormwood, and black walnut. Other herbs can be added in there for support. Absolutely, I'm a big fan of that. But I look for those three as the main hard hitters, personally. And I also like to make sure that people are taking some kind of binder,
Absolutely.
like zeolite. Just getting that mixed up with Zonulin.
Activated charcoal.
Activated charcoal, bentonite clay, in order to bind onto those dead parasites and the off gases that they do. Because when they die off, they release a lot into your bloodstream, which can feel pretty awful. So if you don't have a binder to help get that flushed out, it's not a fun time. So make sure you have that.
And then in addition, you can do a huge bath with baking soda, borax,
Epsom salt.
Bentonite clay.
Yeah.
You can do all that in your bath, and it'll help you even more pull it out.
I actually just did one of those last night. It's my favorite blend.
Yes.
But yeah, you can get things pulled out of your skin and open up your channels of elimination. So a lot of people don't consider that their skin is one of those channels of elimination. So getting out and sweating is also a really great way to support the body in detoxing, whether it's through going out there and physically moving and running until you're sweating, which isn't ideal for everybody, or something like an infrared sauna. That's really good at helping to get those channels of elimination opened up so you can actually get these things out of your system.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing the those three herbs as a base and a binder, giving it about 3 weeks generally, then a week off, and then
Consistent for 3 weeks?
consistent for 3 weeks.
Really?
Yep.
That's heavy.
For most people.
Yeah.
And with the tincture that I do, I've worked my way up to doing about a dropperful and a half to 2 dropperfuls when I do it, but you really want to start off slow at like 5 drops.
Oh.
So
No
that's
wonder
why-
mine was intense.
yeah, it can be a bit rough at first if your body is not fully prepped for it.
So
Okay.
that helps avoid the Herx reaction.
Yes, which are pretty intense. So you don't want to do
Feels like the flu.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel like you are getting really sick, but when you think about all of those contaminants being leached out into your body from the die-off process, it makes sense why you would feel terrible, and all of that ammonia circulating in your system and giving you more brain fog. So to get that cleared out, make sure you're drinking plenty of good quality water when you're doing a parasite cleanse, and just stick with it.
People think about, this is another thing I've been running across, is people think about what they're drinking, but they don't think about what they're bathing in. So I said, you want to definitely filter your water that you bathe in, because it is the largest organ that we have. It's our skin, and it just sucks everything up. So water is important for sure, all the way around.
This website that you have going, just a suggestion.
Yeah.
What do you think about adding a section that can be for like things that you come to discover that help people?
It's a great idea. I didn't think about it. 'Cause I was gonna, have you know, in my YouTube channel, I have the film, which is raising awareness, and then I'm going to also add interviews with people, their stories, because this is, you know, people think we're just numbers, not just the doctors think we're numbers, but also not every doctor, mind you, because my functional doctors and all my holistic doctors, they're amazing. But when you're in Western world, they're so overwhelmed that you just become like, it's like a cattle.
Yeah.
So, and also with other people who are like resisting and pushing back, or maybe whatever their situation is, it's like there's a lot of resistance. So everybody has to just keep an open mind, stay open. But I want to tell everybody's story because we're not just a number. We are a face, we are a human life, and that matters. So yeah. And then I was going to bring in and tell people about all the things I'm doing to hopefully educate them. But I think it's really important that people choose the right path for themselves. I would love to say holistic all day long, because that's what I believe in. And it's been very successful, especially if you have a lot of toxins in your body. Chemo and radiation is more toxins. And one thing people don't read in the fine print of the 27 umpteen pages that nobody reads, they just sign their life away because they're trusting. But when nowadays you have 4 hours in an oncology office, you have time to read those papers while you're waiting. And if you read there in the fine print, it also tells you all the side effects and all the cancers that it causes. So you may kill one type of cancer, but you may cause another type of cancer in there. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is read the papers. I'm not doing this because I'm 100% anti. I am 100% anti, but it's for a reason.
Right.
Yeah, because you've done the research.
I've done the research. I've taken the time. Someone asked me yesterday, they said, have you ever tried chemo? And I said, actually, yes, I did. Because every time I go in, and this is my second round of cancer, they scare me into something.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time it was radiation. And after I did radiation, then I ended up with autoimmune diseases, 2 of them, because it creates more inflammation. It's more toxins. And I did what they told me to do, and then it came back later. So, and then this time around, stage 4, I'm like, well, I have to try it. So they gave me a chemo pill, which wasn't the IV chemo. It came in a pill form. Within 3 days, I was having light anomalies shooting out of my eyes where I became blind. 4 days, I was dropping to the ground with no notice. Literally dropping to the ground. My legs would give out and I'd be like laying on the floor like limp. Day 5, I was shaking, and I'm an artist, so I'm sitting here trying to paint. I'm shaking like this, all day long. So I stopped, and a few days later, everything normalized again. But I said, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I cannot do this. So, if something doesn't feel right to you, try something else, is my point. And if what I'm saying is obviously going against the grain, and I get a lot of kickback and a lot of angry people at me when I say that, because this is what science believes is the best protocol, but not all of us are built the same. So why, if you have this type of cancer, that type of cancer, this type of cancer, that the protocol is all the same? We are not the same DNA. We are not the same. We are male, female, everything, different blood types. We are exposed. Our cancer didn't happen the same. Some of us are genetic, some of us are environmental. I found out I am environmental cancer because they ruled out everything else, and it ended up right there. So if you have all that in your body, you cannot handle more. So even if that's the path you want to take, maybe you want to detox yourself first. Maybe you want to do it with something that's supporting your body. And trust me, Western medicine will not support any of it. They will not support whether you want to support your body through chemotherapy, whether you want to detox with it, they don't want to support it. So you're going to have to be your own advocate, use your mind, do the research, check out everything, and don't let fear rule your decisions. Because you never make a good decision when you're in fear.
No.
Ever.
Brain shuts off.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that you have to either go all Western or all holistic.
Right.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You can work into both areas.
You can. It's just Western will not support it from my personal experience. It's the first time I went through 3 or 4 oncologists, and I would storm out of there every time in tears. And then this time, I had 3 sets of oncologists and surgeons that I would fire, basically, because they would just, you saw it in my film, some of it, and it just wasn't logical to me, and they weren't listening to me. And but yes, I know people who have been successful doing both. I know people who've been successful just doing one. So there's options. You have to just treat yourself as an individual. So that's my tidbit for today. An important one.
Very important. With the live blood analysis that you've been doing, I'm just wondering, like, looking at someone's blood who is exposed to that compared to somebody who's like in their city who's not exposed, would there be a difference in the blood?
Oh, absolutely. So in the live blood analysis, it's really fascinating.
It is.
When you can see those, they call them crystal forms.
Mhm.
They have different colors that they sometimes show off. It's not intense, like wow, bright purple. But there's a little bit of a green tinge or a little bit of a blue tinge, and those indicate different types of exposures that you have. So hairstylists tend to have a certain color of crystalline forms that show up, and I see a lot more of like the blue type forms for people who are more out in the country and live that type of homesteading lifestyle.
Yeah, I remember in my live blood analysis class, they were talking about vapes and how they can tell if people or young kids are vaping from the live blood analysis. The colors were saying.
Yeah. It's really amazing. Your blood doesn't lie.
Yeah.
So when you can get that onto a screen and look at it in real time and say, hey, there's something that's actually going on here. No matter what your tests say, this is showing that I have some hormonal imbalance. Maybe we need to do a little bit of a deeper dive to see what it is exactly that's going on. Yeah, you can tell a big difference depending on where people are coming from and where they tend to hang out.
It'd be interesting, let's say you can see it in their blood and then you put them through a cleansing protocol and then you check their blood afterwards.
I have been doing some of that work with people, having follow-up appointments with live blood analysis, and it's really cool to be able to see the changes in the blood structure month to month with these people. And that's my ultimate goal someday. I would like to have a facility where people come in and they live there for 3 months at a time, and we take care of their food. We make sure that they have a regular diet routine or exercise routine. They are getting out in the morning sunlight. They are getting their body work and their self-care regularly. We kind of lock them in to force them to do that.
I think that's a good idea, because that in my film I did Martha's Vineyard. I went to a retreat, and 21 days is amazing, but I was there for 2 weeks. And the difference was night and day. Yeah. And they took my blood work in the beginning, and they did it after 2 weeks, and my blood was normal.
Wow.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if you have somebody who can educate you and then get you in that pattern of understanding, you'll leave like a completely different person. So that's a brilliant idea.
I'm hoping to get there someday.
Yeah.
And to be able to not just do this for people, but have them be involved in it. So this is how you make your food from scratch. And this is how you start a garden if you want to continue on with this after you leave the program or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
The therapy that you said you receive that helps filter and clean the plasma out of your blood.
Plasmapheresis or plasma exchange. They call it different things depending on who's doing it.
It makes me think of, I saw this video about, it's called EBOO treatment. Very similar, where they're filtering your blood.
Yeah, I've heard it called EBO2.
Oh, that's,
yeah. So EBO2.
That's probably the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, I've done that too.
Okay.
But they're both different. Slightly.
Slightly. EBO uses, is it ozone? Okay. Oh, I saw a video where what they filtered out of somebody, they then looked at that liquid under a microscope, and it was very concerning.
Yes.
It's very sci-fi.
But the thing about ozone is it can be very intense, and you will have a reaction usually. And you need multiple of those to actually get somewhere.
Yeah.
So it can be hard, and it doesn't remove to the extent that plasmapheresis, but it is a more cost. It's better for your pocketbook to do EVO2 versus plasmapheresis. So, but I mean, if people are willing to buy cars and cell phones and all these elaborate things, don't you think you want to invest in your health? I think that's, people make fun of me because I drive this beat up old car. And I said, well, it's because I'm putting it in my body.
Yeah.
My body is my Ferrari.
I wish I could get rid of my car that I pay way too much that I'm completely locked into.
Yeah, they lock you into those.
I'm locked in. Yeah.
But well, thankfully you're healthy.
Yeah.
So,
but I do notice. I noticed when I would drive to school because it's over an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
My nervous system was feeling weird after a drive. My car has all these electronics, and I put my EMF meter in my car.
Oh my god!
It's literally all these new cars are emitting these dangerous EMFs.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. It's never ending.
That's why people who get Teslas, they're now getting Tesla sickness.
Wow!
And people are selling their Tesla because they're finally realizing the smart cars are making them sick. Yeah.
And then where are you going to put the battery? Where are the batteries go? Well, so we're not have to do oil, but like now what do we do with all these toxic batteries?
Right, because these are terribly toxic.
I know. It's like, yeah, you go down the rabbit hole, people, and it's just, you keep going. But, I love it. I actually love it because it just, the more I know, the more I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes time. But like eventually, you can learn so much and do so much, and then you start feeling better.
And you can take all of this information and you can decide whether to be overwhelmed by it or whether to take a piece of it and start changing your life.
Yeah.
Start making a step towards healthier living.
Yeah.
And it impacts not just your physical body, but it affects every part of your being and the people that are around you too.
Yeah.
If you're sick and inflamed all the time, generally you're not the nicest to the people that you love the most.
Mm-hmm.
So that
save your marriage.
Yeah. It affects so many things.
Yeah, it's so true.
So a lot of it is mindset too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's big.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that, and that's something that everybody struggles with, especially with heavy metal toxicity.
And having like the doctor that you had, the way that they speak to you, like that's affecting the mindset. Like you can tell.
Yeah, telling someone you're going to die anyway, even though they didn't realize they were saying it to me, because as they're stage 4 cancer patient, they were just making a broad statement like that. I, as I said in the film, I was bawling my eyes out in my car afterwards. I was joking because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have this recorded. Nobody would believe me. And then I was like, I can't believe she's saying this. And then I go out to the car and it sunk in, because now I'm go from the excitement of having this recorded to, oh my God, I'm going to die.
I remember learning about like in blood analysis, if someone like has negative mindset or has this extreme fear, it's going to make their blood more unhealthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how does that?
And she's a doctor.
Exactly.
Like feeding me that medicine of toxicity.
Like she needs to feed you hope at the very least.
At the very least.
Literally.
Yeah. Even if she doesn't believe it.
Right.
Every time you have extreme stress or depression or anxiety, your immune system weakens. And when you're already in a state of having a weakened immune system, having all that negativity thrown at you doesn't do any good. And you really have to find a way to keep your mind centered, which is challenging, but it is possible. It
is possible. And you don't have to believe everything people say. You do not have to believe everything people say. But if you think about plants and people who play music with plants, anything that's an energetic being, which is all we are, is energy. We respond to positivity more than we do, negativity is horrible too. So we respond to, and you can choose. You can choose to, when I got sick this time, I chose to keep all the negativity away from myself and really get into it. Because if you have somebody constantly yelling at you or telling you how useless you are, not that I'm promoting like separating families, but you can get away from those stresses will help you so much. So much.
You guys seen, there's a documentary, I just can't remember the name of it, something about happiness. But it's basically all about this. Like somebody who had cancer and they focused on their mindset.
Yeah.
And how that played a huge role.
And that's free. There you go.
Yeah.
There's another cost effective. It works, I'm telling you. Because I walk around like, ooh,
yeah, delusional.
Yeah.
The delulu.
And it's not necessarily ignorance is bliss, because that's one of my favorite statements. But like it is like putting your horse blinders on and like all you can see is rainbow and sunshine. And everything else doesn't exist.
Right.
They actually did a study, I can't remember if it was Germany or Japan, but they took live blood analysis and they brought the blood sample up on the screen and they saw the state of the white blood cells being a little bit more weak and sluggish. Mm-hmm. And then they showed the person a funny film and had them laugh. And in real time, as this person was watching this laughing, their white blood cell started activating, started moving around and going after the pathogens and being more peppy, just like he was.
I can't wait to get my duck field microscope.
Oh,
I just want to do so many
experiments happen all the time. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, let's start filming and start a little.
I should. Yeah, I've been talking about it. I just haven't really gotten in there yet.
And even not even as a doctor, but as a patient, that's the other thing. I get geeked out. Mm-hmm. Learning more and doing little experiments and seeing how things react to my body. Mm-hmm. And again, it's TMI, but like when you do coffee enemas and you see what comes out, mm-hmm. you know, it's important to understand that topic.
Yeah. You can't deny it's real now.
Because it comes out and you can see them in there, those little boogers. Yeah. And it's just, but it's fascinating to me. Yeah. Instead of being scared or, oh my gosh, I have that in me. It's like, yay, that's really cool. That's a dead one. Goodbye.
That's out of me. Great.
Yes. Exactly. I get geeked out by science.
Mm-hmm. And it's really cool when you can go along this journey and take part in it because it gives you a lot of empowerment. So you know what's going on and connect with your own body.
Yes. And through it, you're like, there's a surrender that happens because you're like, okay, I'm doing everything I can for my body. And it takes the pressure off of, well, is my time up or not up? You know, you just kind of are like, okay, I'm doing everything I can. There is a piece at it. And plus it takes away all the stress and the anxiety and all the other things that are chemically induced, especially for people in Williamston. You know, as you start clearing out those things, you realize a lot of that is chemically induced, the fears and the anxieties and all these different things. And when you start taking that away, you're thinking clear and you're not as panicked and you're not as stressed. And it's such a beautiful thing.
Have you learned, because I'm so curious about like her website that's collecting this data, what if we asked what blood type they have?
I absolutely want to know that because I have read in the past that different blood types have more aggressive or slow-growing types of cancers.
Interesting.
So it's really fascinating to see if there's a correlation between those who develop certain breast cancers or colorectal cancer.
That would be fascinating. That would be fascinating.
Yeah, I just think that.
But a lot of people don't even know their blood type. You know that?
Well,
a lot of people.
You can go on Amazon and you can order a blood type test kit for like $7.
We're selling these blood type, but it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, really.
Yeah.
It's
but for those who do,
you should know your blood type because how food response to your body is even affected by blood type. It really is.
Absolutely. And the way that you work with stressors is affected by your blood type. There's so much to it.
I know.
When I went to the blood type or the live blood analysis class and sat down before we began, the doctor's like, all right, what's everyone's blood type? She goes, before you tell me, I bet you I can tell you based on just analyzing you and where you sat. And she goes, Amara, I bet you're A blood type. I go, I sure am. I'm right in the front.
How'd she know?
And she's like, well, A's are going to be like that. I was like, well, I chose to sit here because I can't see very well.
Hilarious.
Everyone else was O. I was the only A.
Wow.
And she literally knew just from like analyzing me.
She did the same thing in our class
Did
too.
you?
Yep, the A's and the O's were drastically separate.
We were on the opposite side of the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
It was like completely like obvious. The blood types.
We didn't have any A, B's, or B's in there. I don't know. But the A's and the O's, it was like A's are grouped over here, O's are grouped over here.
That's weird. Now, instead of worrying about like whether you're Republican or Democrat or whatever
What's your vote?
separates people, now we can say, well, are you an O?
Right.
Well, instead of
So
like,
they hang out with those.
right, instead of being like, are you a Virgo or
Yes,
Aquarius?
exactly. All the things that separate us, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a really fascinating subject to look into, the blood type aspect of everything.
I didn't think about that. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
go geek out another direction.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Enjoy
enjoyable.
that rabbit hole.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did I ever send you the parasite pill PDF?
Yes.
I will send that to you.
Please do.
Talk about a rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm so obsessed with it because I have been battling for so long. And that almost took me out. Parasites
Yeah.
almost took me out. I
Same.
literally was dropping to the floor, having seizures all the time. And certain things worked well for certain things and it took the edge off, but it didn't completely get rid of things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. Like that is a huge thing.
They're so prevalent.
Yeah. You cannot get away from them.
No, so you just have to take steps toward protecting yourself and cleanse things out every once in a while. You don't want to be on a continuous cleanse forever. That's going to be too much for the body.
Yeah.
But steps at a time.
Yeah.
Chunk here, give it a little bit of a break to nurture your body.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you're not just in detox mode, but you're also building up the strength to be able to handle it.
Yeah, don't do everything at once. That's one thing I learned too. Like you can't push too hard because I'm a go-getter. I tend to be like, no, I want this tomorrow. You can't really do that. This is like a journey and you have to take your time with it because your body can literally give out because you're like pushing too hard. So like baby steps. Like you said, nurture, push, nurture, push.
And like you said earlier with the wheatgrass, I am also a go-getter type person. And so my very first ever parasite cleanse I did during the raw foods class that we took, which was a new type of eating for me. I did not have a great diet before, recent years. And I tried my first shot of wheatgrass and I loved it. And then a couple of the students in the class didn't want theirs, so I was like, I'll take it.
Oh boy.
And then there was 2 extra shots. So I ended up having 5 shots of wheatgrass.
Whoa.
And that's like 40 salads per shot. Yeah, that was a bit too much. I learned at that day that that's my limit.
Did you have like a Hertz reaction?
Oh, everything came out.
Oh.
It was not
You
good.
exploded.
It helped you just
Every channel of elimination I could possibly have was eliminating. It was a rough weekend.
oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, but I learned a lot from that. So
Baby steps with
baby steps. Even if you love it, you're like, my body is craving this. Slow your roll a little bit because you'll later regret it.
So true.
I've had my first health thing, natural health that I dove into, right, that kind of got me on this journey. After I got COVID for the first time, I lost hearing in my ear where all I could hear was a ringing. So for 2 months straight, couldn't hear. And that was when I was working for Board Water and Light customer service. So I had to have my headset on with one ear not working, just ringing. And so I go to the doctors. They're like, yeah, we don't really know. You go to a specialist at U of M. And so I'm desperate. I'm on Google and I find medical medium. And he's talking about celery juice and how it kills strep bacteria and how strep is related to, it gets in the ear canal and it causes that to happen. I'm like, well, never heard this before, but I literally have no other option. So I juiced 16 ounces of celery juice every single morning. After I think it was 9 days, all of a sudden my ear popped and I could hear my son very loud and my hearing came back. And so I just kept going. And this was before I ever parasite cleansed. So at the time, my eye wasn't able to recognize what's coming out, if that makes sense. And now that I've gone through all that, I'm like, oh my God, the whole time I was doing celery juice, it was cleaning me out of all that stuff.
It's amazing.
And then I was on PubMed one night doing research on celery because I think celery has like way more medicinal properties than people give it credit to.
Mm-hmm.
It is anti-parasitic. I literally found it on PubMed. Like it's anti-everything. It's antibacterial, viral, also contains nicotine.
Stop.
Yeah, it also helps replenish the hydrochloric acid in your gut, which is like your body's first line defense.
So many people have
Especially
issues with hypochlorous acid in your gut. It is such an important thing that gets completely skipped over everywhere.
Yeah. And then when that acid gets low, people will tend to get more heartburn as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if anyone's listening to celery juice.
Yeah, and another thing that's super affordable. Like most people can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Aloe juice too is a good one.
oh, that's amazing.
That's a really good healer for anybody with gut issues.
Yes. They like, I remember
And bacteria.
It'll like heal his gut ulcer almost on contact.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Yes.
An organic one though.
Yes.
Yeah, always
a good one. Always have to make sure you get good stuff because if you go to like I don't want to name names, but if you go certain places where you normally pick up supplements and things like that, you're not going to get good supplements.
This is why I started my supplement line because you can't trust these.
Can't.
Like they did a study where they took supplements they bought from Amazon that are known brands and they analyzed them and they're filled with sand. Like,
oh my
what
God.
people are buying is like fraudulent supplements.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you know on Amazon that you're getting the real thing or not? Like, that's
You don't.
Yeah.
That's why I like to use full script or make my own or get local sources as much as possible because I know that this local herbalist right down the street is using real products.
Yeah.
She's not going to put driveway sand in this capsule.
yeah.
Gosh.
We're all going to have nightmares tonight, whether it's parasites or like sand.
Wait till you read the parasite Pillowpedia.
I'm all about it.
I'll start having nightmares about parasites for a while.
Oh, I've been living with them since 2018, and I see them coming out with it all the time. Like the first time I did a coffee enema. This is again TMI, but this is important.
Yeah,
it is important because it's real.
Yeah,
and I'm getting up to go to let go of the coffee, and a worm pops out that was 12 inches long.
I believe it.
Before I could even get there, and it crawled out so fast. I was like, "What the heck happened?" It's real.
Have you noticed? Because I had this experience when I had tapeworm. Obviously, I didn't know it was going to come out that moment, and I go to the bathroom. Before I knew it came out, I noticed an energetic change in myself from it leaving my body.
Yeah, same.
Like, literally instant.
Same.
Like, what is going on there?
Well, parasites are ancient and incredibly intelligent creatures. So they actually hijack your system and they make you crave the different things that feed them. So you will be more likely to crave sugars and things like that.
It also makes you be more promiscuous.
Yeah, even when it comes
to homosexuality.
Yes.
Really?
This parasite pill PDF will tell you all about that.
Oh my God. I feel like we're like now getting into sci-fi here.
It can be wild. Yeah.
That is so cool though. It's fascinating.
It is.
I love it. I love learning all about this stuff because it's life changing.
Absolutely. And it's so wonderful to have that empowerment to know like, well, no matter what happens, this is in my control.
Yeah.
I like that.
Me too.
When I first started cleansing with the parasites, I'll never forget what that did to my mental health. When my practitioner was like, Mara, you have parasites. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
You mean they can live inside my body?
Yeah.
And then once I saw the first ones come out, then I really, I literally tried to find a regular doctor after that because I'm like, okay, this is real. Hold on, this is very real. And I make an appointment and they tell me, well, I mean, if what your holistic practitioner told you to take is working, maybe you should just keep taking that.
Wow.
That is literally what they told me. They're like, otherwise, you'd have to give us a stool sample. I'm like, so you want me to go, okay, no.
Yeah.
I'll just go back to doing what I'm doing.
And unfortunately, not all the parasites you can see. That's the other thing.
Yes.
So not everybody has a 12-inch worm that says, hello, I'm in here. Some you can't, most of them you can't see.
Yeah, most of them, and they're even photophobic. So anytime they're exposed to light, they instantly get out of shot. So you can't see most parasites. Yeah, parasites are largely photophobic. And that's why a lot of medical tests, when they use that bright microscope, they can't detect anything, but you can see something that's in a dark field because parasites instantly fly away.
That is so insane. And so they're going looking for them, and they're all like, ah!
It's nothing there. It's nothing there, but they've hidden in deep corners. So
I love how they only will do stool tests as if they aren't anywhere else in the body.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're in my reproductive system, not sure how your stool test is going to tell you they're there.
Or
but
lymphatic system or any of those other
cells.
Brain.
They can get in your cells.
Yeah.
And that's where it really creates a
Protozoa. Yeah.
And it takes longer to do it if it's on a cellular level. Like anything. Toxins, anything, parasites, if they get to your cells, it's a long process.
Yeah, you have to be dedicated.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. You have to stick with it.
Totally.
Have you learned about the energy enhancement system yet or tried it?
What is that? Like PMF or?
So it's called the EE
Right.
system.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I have. I actually do that along with the vibration stuff. You like do a big circle of stuff. I'll do the vibration to that to then red light, and they work really beautiful together.
Okay. We have all of those at the center. And
I was just saying that.
yeah, we've switched it over from the EE system to the light system, which is it's able to be mirrored and so be a lot more impactful.
Okay.
And we've noticed some people say, "Oh my gosh, this is way different than it used to be." But we also have like a biocharger, which is similar to.
He's got the biocharger.
That thing's amazing. I was really skeptical at first, and so I've tried it out a few different times. Every single time I've tried it out on a different program, it's rocked my world. I thought I was good about my detoxing and like I'm clean living as far as I can get. But then I've done a detox protocol and poof, there it goes. Stuff's moving.
Do you think it's like different things create different detox pathways or different organs or different,
frequencies,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Every
In
organ has a
combination.
certain frequency.
Wow.
Yes.
So again, you have to have dedication. You have to take your time. This is not a race. It's a journey, and you can't give up. And you have to constantly work. I mean, if everybody would have started this way, it wouldn't end up this way.
Yeah.
What do you guys charge for the home run egg?
$100 for a session.
What do you charge for the light?
The light system, I believe it's $50 for an hour, and they do like overnights and stuff too. And that's actually now in my teaching zone. So we just moved locations, and we have a little kitchen that opens up into the light system room with a conference table. So every class that I am going to be teaching there, you're going to be getting that light therapy.
Dang, you guys have all these modalities.
There's so much.
Those are expensive.
Yes, and not many people know about it. We haven't done any advertising, so we're making some changes now. But yeah, we have a lot of these frequency tools and more physical tools to be able to get. We're trying to build more of that holistic approach where we're addressing every part of a being, because we're not just physical beings. We're emotional, we're energetic, we're mental, spiritual, everything all combined into one. And most places that you end up going to focus largely on one, maybe two of these different aspects.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a membership where you like everything's included by any chance?
Not yet, but we're still new and growing and constantly coming up with new ideas. So I'll definitely bring it up.
What was the price for the biocharger? I'm sorry.
$20 per session.
And how long's a session?
It really varies. There are some programs, because there's over 12,000 different programs that you can run that are very specific for all sorts of different ailments. They can be anywhere from 7 minutes long to 35 minutes long that I've seen.
And the biocharger is what, using a Tesla coil?
Yeah, it uses it's this big device in the center that has these glass tubes of different gases that kind of light up in there. And there's a antenna at top that has a lightning bolt basically come out. It kind of looks like a light show. It's pretty entertaining when you're in there. and it emits all of these frequencies, and you can really feel your body kind of buzzing when you're in there a little bit. And yeah, the first time I did it, I had my spine toward the device, and it was a 12-minute session, and I struggled with sleep. I don't really dream very often. And within that 12-minute session, I fell asleep hard to the point where I was dreaming that somebody was throwing wood chips in my face. And then when it was done, I woke up saying, "Oh no, I've been here all night. I fell asleep in this chair." And they went, "No, it's been 12 minutes since we started."
Wow.
It's drastic. And I slept so great for a few nights.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it can do a ton of different things.
Is that the one that you replaced the EE systems with?
No, that's on top of that. So we have a few different devices.
That's amazing. Because each one has a different aspect, because I did EE systems, and one of the biggest problems I had was fatigue, which can be anything. It can be cancer, it can be parasites, it can be autoimmune, it can be Lyme. There's so many things that can cause fatigue, but that really changed my fatigue.
Yeah.
It gave me so much more energy. So, I mean, each thing has its own purpose, and definitely worth it.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fascinating to be able to get this piece of it plus this piece and and get that full experience.
Have you done any lipid experiments before and after of any of those modalities?
You know, I keep meaning to. We also have a thermography camera that I've been meaning to get into use, and I just haven't done that yet. But I'm looking for people who would be willing to do intense things. So, all right, you want to play?
Thermograms. So thermogram is actually how I found out I had cancer, because it can tell you if a cell is starting to mutate. It can be that accurate versus just seeing cancer or a blood clot, or it can see all kinds of things. So that's the first place I went, and nobody in Western medicine takes it for something. And like I said, then I went to an MRI. They said, you need to get a mammogram or an MRI immediately. So I went and got an MRI, and of course it said no abnormalities. So it does show you more than just cancer. It shows you all kinds of things. And that's another thing I would recommend to people, because it can give you so much information. When I did radiation, I went and did it. And right after radiation, and it showed all the damage that radiation did. But the great thing is 3 months I was doing hyperbaric chamber almost every day, and it was gone within 3 months, all the damage.
And when you can track that and see with your own eyes,
there's
so much power in that.
Exactly. So with a thermogram, you can see way more than just cancer. You can see cells mutating. You can see whether your lymph is or your carotid arteries are clogged. You can see so much where the inflammation is in your body. Anywhere. You can do head to toe and see all kinds of stuff. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and you can see it so much earlier than the traditional methods that are used.
Exactly.
So is that just using heat? It's measuring heat from the body to see, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, looking for areas that are hot spots or cold spots, because that indicates that there's not circulation getting to this area or different things like that.
I went up to one of the girls from school who she trains horses, and she was doing a class to teach us how to do craniosacral on horses. And she had one of those heat guns, and she just happened to be holding it, and I was standing in front of her when she turned it on. She goes, "Amara, there's something wrong with your leg." So I literally have like something going on right here that I don't know what's clotted or whatever, but I would have never known had it not been for that.
Wow.
I have a photo of it, actually. I was like, hold on, let me take a
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, never would have known. But she was teaching us, like, they'd use that for the horses to know if there's no circulation, it's going to be cold.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Yeah.
And it's really quite simple, but tells you so much.
Yeah. It's very good.
I have a million things I want to write down. New things.
Yes, new rabbit holes.
There's so much. There's just so much.
It's just
wonderful. And
that's the
exciting.
encouraging thing,
Yes.
because for people who may be sensitive to the Western ways, or don't want to go that route, they have so many options holistically that it'll blow your mind. I was like, wow. Like, to know that you don't just have 2 options or 3 options, surgery, chemo, and radiation.
You have a toolbox.
So much.
And when you're working with a holistic practitioner, you have somebody who's on your team. Like you said, you're not just a number. You're part of this, and they'll say, hey, how are you doing? What do we need to adjust? Are you able to handle this?
Yes.
Instead of just like, well, I guess I've got another 15-minute slot in about 6 weeks, so I'll see you then.
Or even worse, it's like, because one of the things I said, well, I have blood clots. You can take a medicine for that. Well, what if I get nauseous? Because it says, oh, we'll give you medicine for that. What if it does this? I'll give you medicine for that. I'm like, 12 medicines later, I said, are you kidding me? And then you read all the side effects of those medicines, and I'm like, I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to be a mess. And it's true. So you have to just, support your body regardless of what choices you make. You have to. You have to.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Next time you are going to be in town, let me know.
I will.
Just keep doing this.
I will.
Should keep getting rid out.
Get behind your mission.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it because I've been like, now that I know there's a place right there, it's like so exciting for me because everybody's like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And they say, well, find out.
Yeah, we've been hidden, but we're starting to really make some progress going forward. So,
Okay, well, I'm going to be sharing the podcast with everybody. So, because there's a wealth of information in here, and everybody be open. Please be open because until you actually experience it yourself, even starting little, like you said, it can be just diet or little steps, and you're going to be like, wow, okay, this is working. This is working, and I don't feel sick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. In the beginning, I was feeling sick. I was, but little by little, I got better and better, and my energy kept improving. And now it's like I'm walking 5 miles with stage 4 cancer. So, like, it's possible.
Good for you.
Thank you.
One last thing I want to add about the nicotine. If anyone wants to try it, I recommend doing 1 milligram a day and building up from there.
Okay.
Because otherwise, people can have like nausea or some detoxing symptoms. Really, that's what it's doing. So, if anyone wants to try that, just cut your patch to 1 milligram and do that for the first week, and then build yourself up. But Dr. Brian Artist, he does 3 milligrams every day, and he will wear that every day for the rest of his life.
I will too.
Because
I will too.
What it does.
I will too. I'm going to try it out, and I'll talk about that as well.
Of that. Oh, this box is a gift for you. Some goodies from me.
Hopefully, there's nicotine patches in there.